Thank you for joining us for this episode of CNTV. I'm Brad Clonch.
And I'm Quin Tran. The start of the year is a great time to set goals. Well, how about the goal of reading more books?
The Chickasaw Press has a wide range of books, history and culture, fiction, and children's publications.
Protecting Our People is an interesting book that takes readers back in time to the early days of Chickasaw law enforcement in Indian Territory.
I spent 5 years researching this book.
The intense work shows in this book written by Michelle Cooke for the Chickasaw Press. Protecting Our People, Chickasaw Law Enforcement in Indian Territory gives historical insight.
It goes all the way back to our homelands and where we first divided up, and this was new information, where we first divided up into the 4 districts that we knew about, but I found a letter that stated how they had developed these light horsemen back before removal even, and put 100 men, 25 for each of the districts, to enforce the laws.
She brings the book to life through dated documents and old photographs.
Being able to research and find those photos were such treasures for me.
They put a face to people who shaped Chickasaw law enforcement history. Many of their stories have never been told until now.
People are really excited to find their relatives, and even as a resource for researchers, there was nothing ever written on Chickasaw Light Horse before. When I first started this project, there was nothing out there except one small article. I would say probably my favorite find was a letter to the BIA about a light horseman named Chinchiki. And he took on 4 criminals that had guns, and all he had was a knife. And he was able to kill 3 of them before the last one shot him with his gun. So they wrote this letter posthumously about him to the BIA, commending his work as a light horseman and wanting him to be recognized. And so that was really exciting when I found that. And because I didn't find a lot of real life accounts. And that was one of the few accounts I was able to locate.
Hunting for information, she discovered more about her own relative.
Ben Colbert was a U.S. Marshal, and I was definitely able to find some photos of him that I had never seen before through the research, so that was exciting for me and for my family. He was my great-grandfather. He was U.S. Marshal in the Southern District of Oklahoma, and he was also a Rough Rider with Teddy Roosevelt. So book forthcoming on that one. That was a regiment of soldiers that were under Teddy Roosevelt during the Spanish-American War. And they were unique, and you may have heard they charged up the Battle of San Juan Hill. He was there, he did that. There's records that he kept a diary during that time and recorded movements of the troops, recorded poetry, and just personal thoughts and reflections during that time.
Many of her findings came from the Oklahoma Historical Society and the Pontotoc County Historical and Genealogical Society. The award-winning book features more than 350 people, a tribute to their law enforcement career and service to the Chickasaw Nation and its people.
Speaks to our sovereignty too, as well, that we were sovereign back in the homeland even, and we never lost that. Despite removal. To create laws for ourselves, keep the laws within our tribe. We always ruled ourselves. We had a government. We had a system back in the homelands, and then we had a government in Indian Territory. I'm very proud of the work that the press team and I did on it. I think that it was definitely a team effort, and we spent a lot of hours working on edits and layout and so on, and I just appreciate them so much.
Michelle is a gifted researcher and writer. We look forward to reading more of her work.
You can find Protecting Our People at bookstores like Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and of course, the Chickasaw Press. The National Park Service awarded the Chickasaw Nation funding of $50,000 for a unique project in the tribe's homeland. Titled Rediscovering Fala Chaha, the project seeks to rediscover the 17th and 18th century archaeological site of a Chickasaw town. That town is known as Chopped Shagbark Hickories, located in the Chickasaw homeland. The historic homeland includes parts of present-day northern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama, western Tennessee, and southwestern Kentucky. The homeland is important to the tribe in its ongoing efforts to interpret, preserve, protect, and reconnect to the land, waterways, and cultural and historical sites of Chickasaw ancestors. The 2023 Chickasaw Nation programs and service directories are available. Just go to the address on your screen to access the 3 directories. The Residence Directory covers all available resources to citizens living within the 13 South Central Oklahoma counties of the Chickasaw Nation. The Oklahoma Directory lists resources to citizens living within Oklahoma, outside tribal boundaries. And the Services at Large Directory shares resources offered to citizens living around the globe. Citizens may download the directories online, as well as from the Apple App Store and Google Play on their phone or tablet. We've been tracking the progress of some Chickasaw citizens and employees participating in the Life RX program.
Life RX is a year-long healthy initiative to prevent and delay the onset of type 2 diabetes.
A lifestyle coach meets regularly with participants to share nutritional information and strategies for better health.
We check again on some participants to see how they're doing more than a year later.
I've learned how to make small changes in everyday activities and cooking at home, to make things healthier.
Well, for me, it was the daily tracking, so you can see your habits and what you're intaking. If you do that daily, which is a small step, eventually it becomes one big step, and you can see your progress through that way.
I don't like to go to the gym. So a big part of my program was to modify daily activities or to find something fun for me to do. Anything from doing yard work, push mowing instead of riding the lawnmower, building a privacy fence, doing gardening, things like that to get myself outside and to be more motivated. And that was a big help for me. I think within the first 8 weeks, I believe I had dropped a little over 20 pounds, and it was just from tracking my food and just getting out and being active. In the beginning, if I were to walk up a flight of stairs at work, I would be out of breath and sweating to where now I'm able to run, 3 miles, and it's not that big of a problem for me anymore. So, it was just drastic changes.
Brad, did you see results right away?
I did. I didn't see 20 pounds of results. That's very impressive. I had a small decrease in the beginning, but that has continued to snowball down. I would agree, climbing that flight of stairs and not being completely out of breath definitely is a welcome relief. Having the clothes become looser is definitely a goal that we all look to achieve, and it's definitely nice when you start seeing those changes.
Now, more than a year later, after getting off of the program, have you been able to maintain?
Originally, I had lost 29 pounds in the program, and I've been able to maintain. But what I've noticed is I have more muscle mass now. Instead of being jiggly everywhere, I can see muscle tone now.
Since starting the program myself, as of this morning, it would be 39 pounds. So the weight loss hasn't been a constant, down. There's been a little uptick, then down again, a little uptick back up, but you just have to keep working to try to hit those goals. And you can't let those small increases set you back.
So you would say to prepare for the ups and downs.
Correct. Yes.
It's not always exactly how you want it.
It never is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What keeps you motivated to stick with the lessons you've learned from Life RX?
For me, I have a lot of family and friends who were also at one time borderline diabetic who have now crossed over to having to take, shots every week. And I just see just the overall the health problems that they have, and I don't want to be like that. And I know that with this program, the things that they have taught me, I was able to bring my A1C levels down and to stay out of that zone.
For me, I always like it when you see somebody you haven't seen in a few months and they comment, "You look a little thinner today." So that's always a nice motivator. I always tell them that, I track my food, get exercise in every day, and a lot of times I do, especially if they are Chickasaw or Chickasaw employee, discuss within the Life RX program.
One of the features of the Life RX program, I think, is the coaching you get, the counseling you need. Is that really a key, vital part of this program to you for your success?
Yes. I still talk to my coach. Just recently I started doing 5Ks. So I stay in constant contact with her. She came up with a plan of exercises to help me, shave time off of my runs. She's been a constant help even, since I've been out of the program. When people will see that I'm running and that I'm doing 5Ks, they'll say, "How are you able to run that far?" I look back and I think, there was a time, like I said, when I would have climbed a flight of stairs and been out of breath. And so it was just starting, 30-minute walks a day and then making those walks just a little faster and then starting to run maybe a minute into the walk. And now I'm able to run for 30 minutes without stopping. And it's great. It feels great.
How did the one-on-one counseling benefit you, Brad?
Having somebody to discuss not just the ups but the downs, and just having somebody to give feedback on maybe what they're seeing or how they might go about overcoming those little obstacles, it does help. Sometimes we do know the answers, but we just need a little bit of reinforcement that is the answer and where we need to go with it.
Would you say that Life RX has been life-changing for you?
I'm down 40 pounds, so I'd say yes.
I have to agree. I'm down almost 30 pounds and my physical activity is so much better. I feel better about myself and I look better in the mirror. I'm able to fit clothes that I was, never able to fit before. The best part about it is seeing the results in my lab work. When I go to the doctor, they're no longer telling me that I need to bring my weight down or I need to watch what I eat or anything like that. They don't even mention my A1C levels anymore.
Do you see how this benefits and bleeds over to not only body, but mind and spirit?
I would say that it does affect you more spiritually. When you do take that time out of your day to make yourself better, especially physically, I think anybody would say that they do have a clearer mind. Whether you're out just walking in nature, maybe just even on the treadmill, in the gym lifting, preparing for that 5K, I think anybody would say that they feel that mind clearing out.
I think it's important as we get older to maintain a healthy body so that we don't find ourselves in situations where we're unable to take care of ourselves or, having a number of health problems that are related to something that we could have changed, something that we could have fixed ourselves. I've never been a person that liked running or even liked to get up early in the mornings. And now I find myself out the door at sunrise to go, put in 3 or 4 miles. So I definitely, I'm a different person now than what I was, a year or 2 years ago when I started the program.
The LifeRx program stands out because of how it's designed. Having a support system is key on a health journey.
The program is for those 18 years or older. Contact the number on your screen to get additional information. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode.
We'll see you back here next time.